to hunt. Because you all think that I can't.
The Predator franchise felt like it was running out of ideas, and then here comes Prey to prove it all still works. Before we jump into today's movie, this is part of my 25-day Christmas movie marathon where I'll be dropping a new review every single day this month, and today's movie is Prey, a movie that proved the Predator franchise still works. Prey takes place in 1719 following Naru, a young Comanche warrior who's trying to prove herself as a hunter, but while she's out tracking prey, something else is hunting too. It's a predator. And this isn't the normal high-tech, shoulder cannon wielding alien we've seen before. This is a more primitive version, and this is actually the first Yautja to ever land on Earth, or at least the furthest back one we've seen in the movie franchise. This movie takes everything back to the basics, no military groups, no modern weapons, just survival instinct, and a predator looking to kill the best hunter on the planet. And that simplicity is exactly what makes this movie work. And another thing that makes this setup so effective is how the movie uses the time period to its advantage. Naru doesn't have access to advanced technology or military training. She has a tomahawk, a bow, and her knowledge of the land. That's it. And that puts her on a more of an even playing field with the predator than any human has been in the franchise so far. And this movie is not about firepower or strength. It's about skill, patience, and understanding your environment. And I feel like that makes this battle way more intense. And this movie really does go back to the basics, like the original Predator. Just the best predator looking to kill the best predator it can find on Earth so it can become the apex predator. There's no convoluted plot, no unnecessary twist. It's pure, straightforward survival and strategy. And in my opinion, that's really what the franchise needed. Sometimes the best move is to go back to what worked in the first place. And this is supposed to be the first time we have ever seen a Yautja or predator land on Earth. He is a very primitive Yautja compared to the ones we have seen in the previous movies. His tech is less advanced. Instead of that big laser ball cannon, he has like 3 little metal spikes that it shoots, which is still way more advanced than what Naru has, but it's still very primitive compared to the previous movies. And that really changes his hunting style, and his hunting style really feels different. He's still learning what Earth's apex predators are capable of, and that kind of makes him feel a bit more dangerous because he's very unpredictable. And while we're on the topic of this Yautja, the way he moves and the way he sounds is insane, and it really gets the species down to a T. Every movement feels calculated, every sound design choice makes him feel like a real creature. It's not too much suspended animation. It really looks like this creature is living and breathing, and it's not just a CGI effect. The way he stalks through the environment, the way he tilts his head when he's studying something, it all adds to the tension. You can tell the filmmakers really understood what makes Yautja scary. And instead of Naru just brute force fighting the predator like her brother, she relies on her wits and being able to outsmart the predator. She's not stronger than him, not even close. She's probably 5% of his strength. Also, she's not faster, but she is very smart. She observes, she adapts, and by the end, she actually ends up using his own weapons and tactics against him. And in my opinion, that's part of what makes her such a satisfying protagonist. And her win doesn't seem unlikely. The way they ride it and play it just comes together really well, and she actually earns the win. It's just not handed to her in any means. Yes, the predator might act a little dumb, but that's just him being young and naive, whereas she's smarter and she just adapted to the situation quicker. And another thing I want to point out is the overall world just feels real. The set design is amazing and is actually very accurate to the timeline and setting. It also gives the movie a unique feel that we haven't seen in any of the other Predator movies. The forest was in the original, and a lot of them actually, but the forests, the plains, the wildlife, it all feels lived in and grounded. You're not watching a sci-fi movie. You're actually watching a very historically accurate survival thriller that just happens to have an alien Yautja put right in the middle of it. And another thing is the cinematography in this movie is insane. Every scene is shot with a purpose. The wide shots of the landscape make you feel how isolated Naru is. The close-ups during the hunt make every moment feel tense, and the lighting, especially during the final fight, is some of the best I've seen in the franchise altogether. It's not just visually impressive, they're using the camera and the lenses as a way to tell the story. Now, I know I've been saying this in every video recently. I use the same line, so again, hopefully it's not too repetitive for returning viewers. viewers. Some people didn't like the Predator's design. I personally think he looks badass and they killed it, but it's not for everyone. This version is leaner, more animalistic, and less armored than the Predators we've seen before. Some fans felt like he didn't look intimidating enough, or that the design strayed too far away from the original, but for me, the design fits its time period and the tone of the movie. He's supposed to be a younger, less experienced Predator, and that design reflects that. Because you gotta think about it this way, he's a younger and less experienced Predator, so he thinks he's just the big bad, and he's like, oh, I don't need all this armor, I'm the best, no one can stop me. So he's just naive. You gotta take that into consideration, and for me, that's kind of my way of justifying the design. People are like, oh, that's too weird, that's too different, but for me, I think it makes completely sense for the story they're trying to write. Oh, and don't even get me started. This movie has the same director as Predator Badlands, which at the time of editing this video, I'm gonna go see in exactly 1 week, so I'm very hyped for that. I will also have a review on Badlands in about a week after this video is posted, so if you love the Predator franchise, stick around for that review because I've been hyped for that movie for a while and the reviews are great, so I bet I'm gonna love it. This movie also goes back to survival with tension instead of the overly relying on technology, and that's something I personally really appreciated. It doesn't try to outsmart itself or go bigger just for the sake of it. It just feels like a tight, focused story about a hunter and a predator, and that's all it needed to be. This is personally my favorite Predator movie, of course, before watching Predator Badlands, so if you want to know which movie I liked more, stay tuned for that video. But the moment that stuck with me the most is probably when Naru uses the Predator's tech without him knowing to defeat him. She's been studying him for the entire movie, learning how his weapons work, how he tracks, and how he thinks, and in that final moment, she turns it all against him. It's shot insanely well and isn't too far-fetched. It feels earned. She didn't just get lucky, she outplayed him. And this movie works because it understands what made the original Predator great. It's not about spectacle, it's not about the spectacle, it's about the hunt itself. It's about two apex predators testing each other until only one survives, and by stripping away all the tech and going back to the basics, Prey reminds you why this franchise mattered in the first place. And while this movie isn't perfect, it almost is, so I definitely recommend you to watch it. It never came out on theaters, which was weird. It was straight to Hulu and it did super well, and I'm pretty sure that that movie is part of the reason why Badlands is happening. So if you watched Badlands and you liked it, the same director made Prey, go check it out. I recommend it, and I personally think it's the best of the franchise. But with all that said and done, thank you for watching today's review. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be dropping a new video every single day this month for my 25-day Christmas movie marathon. Tomorrow's review is a big one, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. In the meantime, feel free to check out yesterday's video if you haven't already, and as always, stay curious and let's keep the conversation going.